Hello and welcome to another episode of Badman Reviews. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be taking a look at this site here called itch.io, or itch.io, however you want to say it. And this is a website where indie developers can release their games for free to people or for a price, and it's a great place to go to check out some awesome, interesting indie concepts. So today, we're going to be taking a look at 5 itch.io games, and if you want to try them out for yourselves, check down in the description below. All the links are down there. There's some really good games, so I would advise giving them a try for yourself. But let's start off with a game called Cloud Climber. Cloud Climber is a beautiful game created by 2-Star Games that follows the story of a civilization that has spent over 100 years building towers to the sky to try and reach the clouds to obtain water, since all the water down below has been depleted. You start off on your own tower and slowly realize through in-game notes that everyone else has either starved to death, fallen off the towers, or been murdered. The game doesn't have a crazy amount to it. You walk from one point to another, picking up objects to help you get from one destination to the next. But the gorgeous view, build-up of a story, and atmosphere are more than enough to keep you invested in what there is here to experience. I also found myself falling in love with every note I read and loved the ending of the game. I won't spoil it so you can experience it for yourself, but it's definitely worth the play to experience it. Next up is Nightfall, a 2D platformer with fantastic pixel art created by Kenneth Alvarez. The game follows the character Caleb as he travels through a mystical and enchanting world. This world is split up into layers, with a new layer being created every year. Each layer is its own world that has its own features. One could be a forest, and the next could be an ocean, or maybe a candy world. It's always a surprise. With the help of his trusty feline phone friend, Caleb is trying to reach the bottom layer of this vast world for some reason that becomes known to you as you travel through the world. Currently, in the demo form that we have, there isn't too much to the game yet, only one layer and a basic amount of platforming and enemies, but what is here in the demo is very promising. I love the story, characters, and platforming that exists at the moment. What Lives Below is a game I've had my eyes on for a while. When I saw it pop up in my Steam recommended page, I knew I had to add it to my wish list, and when I saw this game pop up on itch.io with a demo, you knew I had to download it and give it a try. The best way I can describe this is Shadow of the Colossus on a boat, and many of you know Shadow of the Colossus is one of my favorite games of all time, so this one was very intriguing for me. You start off at your house and hop on your boat and venture out into the world. You have a little radar that can guide you towards your target, but if you want, you could just travel around wherever you want and explore the seas. Once you have eventually reached your target, it will usually appear before you, whether it's a giant whale breaching the water, a rock structure actually being a massive octopus, or seeing a huge bird fly overhead. Each monster has this huge, massive, beautiful look to them that gives me the same feelings I had when seeing a monster in Shadow of the Colossus for the first time. Each battle has its own rhythm to it, making each fight feel different. For one, you're watching your radar, trying to find where your target will breach the water. One has you dodging and blowing up rocks while you circle a giant enemy, and yet another has you chasing down a monster and destroying its points of rest. I also love how the boat and player are separate entities. Truthfully, the developer could have just made you control a boat that shoots out harpoons or bullets or something, but instead, much like Shadow of the Colossus, you get to control 2 things: setting your boat to autopilot and drive in a certain direction while repairing it or battling a monster, then having to quickly grab the wheel to dodge an attack, or rocks in the way makes some very immersive and entertaining gameplay. I'd love to see a big open world in the final game. I know you're probably getting tired of hearing me say this, but they could replicate something like Shadow of the Colossus' map, where you can explore wherever you want from a main starting point, but still be guided in the direction of an enemy. And that could make for a really fun experience. Maybe add some small little side things you can do to upgrade your boat or weapon as well. Make sure to add this one to your Steam wishlist on Steam, because I know that helps the devs out when you do that. Now let's change things up a bit here with Masquerade, a Quake-like first-person shooter. This game is fast-paced and pretty fun. You run through a medieval-style world shooting bad guys with dual crossbows. You can hold them normal and shoot slow, powerful shots, or hold them gangsta-style and shoot weak, fast shots. There are also other power-ups like shurikens that you have the ability to find throughout each level. I really did enjoy this game, but it was frustrating at times. The game doesn't really give you enough ammo to compete with the constant flow of enemies that are always running at you. I found most of the game I was out of ammo and found myself just speed running past as many enemies as I could so I wouldn't have to waste what little ammo I did have on anything I could just skip past. There are puzzles here and there for you to solve as you travel through the world, and secrets all over the place that you can find to award you with extra health, ammo, and power-ups. I never really understood the story of the game or what I was trying to accomplish, especially with the final room just having me blow up some weird balls, but the game was fun, and that's the most important part, right? The final game we have to talk about is the Haunted PS1 Demo Disc, 2021 edition. This thing is so big, I can't even scratch the surface of what we have here. Basically, this is a community of indie developers that come together to share a demo of their creepy PS1-style scary games in one large demo disc every year. There are a total of 25 games inside this one game, some feeling like mini demos and other feeling like fully fledged games sometimes. I was only able to look at some of them since there are so many games in here. I would highly advise you check out these games if you like spooky or scary stuff, because there is some amazing work here. Each game has a PS1 aesthetic to it, but each game has its own feel and vibe that makes each and every one feel different. For example, the first game I played, Peeb Adventures, wasn't really scary and was more spooky and a classic platformer vibe to it. The music was obviously based on Grant Kirkhope's old work, and there are plenty of bananas to collect as you progress through this world swinging from your nose, or as the game would call it,
boner, 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 boner.
Yeah. You'll also find many secrets, some glitches, and a spooky ending to get you intrigued into what the game has built here. On the other hand, we have sad games like The Drowning Machine that was designed around a friend and his loss of a best friend to suicide. It's a really sad story that hit me pretty hard. While you're playing, you get to read his poems and experience their friendship as you travel through this bleak world and experience the sad loss of a human through their work, Instagram, and life story. But like I said, there's also lots of horror games included in here, like Still Ridge, which is basically a PS1 version of PT with its own story and secrets to find. The Hell Ward loophole, that actually had me jump out of my seat a few times, has you travel through a medical ward with doctors and nurses hunting you down. And Walk is a Japanese game I couldn't quite get the hang of, but was pretty cool having you explore the back streets of Tokyo as a little girl, hiding from a creepy monster trying to hunt you down. And those are just 5 games out of 25 that you can explore, and even a secret game hidden somewhere in the demo disc for you to find as well. So please give this one a look through. It's so well made, and there's even a whole community for you to explore here if you're interested in that. Thanks again for watching, and feel free to subscribe down below for more fan games or content like this. And let me know if you enjoyed this video so I know if I should do more Itch.io or Game Jolt type videos. And if there's any games you think I should check out, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. I'm always checking them out. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video.